Exclusive contract novel from Feilu Novel Network. The Whole Nation. Premature Death. How can I only ban curses, Faye? The game has arrived in reality, with not only a large number of monsters rampant, but also a large number of dungeons and secret realms existing in the wild. Blue Star has entered the era of nationwide job transfers, and can continuously become stronger by working hard to kill monsters and upgrade. On the day of his job transfer, Chu Yun became a noble Dharma master. Before he could be happy, he looked at the skill panel and felt bewildered. What kind of thing? Fire-based forbidden curse, heavenly flame funeral, water-based forbidden curse, sea god's fury, thunder-based forbidden curse, annihilation of the world and thunder calamity. What about the agreed fireball technique, wind blade, and water bullet technique? You have died young. Master, why do I only know how to ban curses? However, as Chu Yun's level continued to rise and he changed jobs, he found that things didn't seem so simple yet. On the skill panel, there are laws such as Earth Explosive Celestial Star, Swastika Solution, Flowing Blade like Fire, and Fairy appearing lying down. The skill art style seems to be getting more and more strange. Feilu Novel Network reminds you that this novel and its characters are purely fictional. If there are any similarities, they are purely coincidental and should not be imitated. 001 Global Job Transfer. Forbidden Mage. 1. Find. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Small Square. One by one, young girls with innocent faces, their eyes flickering with anticipation. Under the guidance of the teacher, the palm was pressed against a white stone monument that was about 2 meters high. Su Yuan, job transfer completed, profession is life profession. Blacksmith. Yang Guangyu, job transfer completed, profession. Pastor. Lu Xiaolin, job transfer completed, profession. Warrior. The stone tablet will display various halos and marks as the palm is pressed together. A female teacher with exquisite makeup and a slender figure, ignoring the noise around her. She kept reading and writing with her pen, recording the situation of her job transfer. Accompanied by each of his readings, it represents someone completing a job transfer. Comfortable, I finally switched jobs. Great, I just want to be a warrior. The whole world is different. Is this the property panel? What the teacher said is indeed correct. After changing jobs, they will automatically understand 2 initial skills. My skills are chopping and colliding, it's so beautiful. Lu Xiaolin, who has just completed his job transfer, is quite rough. He clenched his fist excitedly, and after completing his job transfer, the world around him changed. A panel that only he could see appeared in front of him. 100 years ago, games came to reality. As long as everyone on Blue Star reached the age of 18, they could accept the baptism of professional divine stones and complete job transfers. Once you complete the job transfer, you can gain experience by leveling up through monster fights and constantly become stronger. And today, right now, they undergo a unified job transfer under the organization of the school. I'll go. Why am I a life profession? I want to be the Faye. How handsome the Faye is. It's getting cold. A small young man was standing beside him, looking down and dejected. Su Yuan changed his job to become a life profession, blacksmith. Obviously, this is not the result he wants. In his imagination, he should be a mage who controls wind and lightning, and controls elements. Not a stinky blacksmith. Harmful. We have so many professions in Blue Star, and being a Fae is not something you can become if you want. This thing still depends on fate. Professions are all random, and you're destined to be a blacksmith. Besides, blacksmiths are not bad either. At least in the future, they will have no worries about food and clothing, and there is no need to go to the wild to hunt monsters. Xiaoshu, I'll have to rely on you to build my weapons in the future. Lu Xiaolin, who had just transferred to become a soldier, slapped Su Yuan and comforted him with a resounding voice. Get lost. Su Yuan rolled his eyes and knew that there was nothing wrong with what Lu Xiaolin said. But it's even more frustrating. Build your horse. Who wants to be a blacksmith? Even if it's not Faye, at least you can transfer me to a combat profession. This Nima gives a life profession, and even if it turns 2 or 3 times in the future, it won't work. It's really heart-wrenching. Su Yuan is numb now. Chu Yun, job transfer completed, profession. Mage. Just speaking. A recitation sounded. Hey. Xiao Su, you see someone has transferred to the position of Faye, it's Chu Yun. Upon hearing the recording teacher's recitation, Lu Xiaolin turned his head to look at Su Yuan and didn't forget to make a knife again. What caught the eye was a tall and handsome young man with a sword eyebrow star. The young man had a smile on his lips, looking lazy and casual, giving off a feeling of being bathed in spring breeze. In front of him, the professional god stone flickered with a prominent mage emblem, enveloping the young man. I'll go. This is the first mage to change jobs today, right? Su Yuan's eyes turned red with envy upon seeing this. Although compared to some unpopular professions, Warcraft Patriarch, collectively known as the Imperial Three Houses, is the most basic profession. But the probability of becoming a mage is the smallest. Mages are famous for their high output, strong control, and fierce flying. When casting, it's all about sound, light, and electricity, like a running horse lamp. It's so cool to bring in girls. And in the future, there will be more branches of mages in the 2nd and 3rd rounds, such as elemental mages, summoners, and destruction mages. It is almost inevitable to transfer to a powerful profession. Even hidden professions. So mages are generally referred to as Fae by everyone. It is the dream job in the hearts of countless people, including Su Yuan. It's not an exaggeration to say that once you switch jobs and become a legal master, you even have the right to choose a spouse in advance. Why isn't it me? Su Yuan murmured to himself, still unable to accept the reality that he would be a stinky blacksmith in the future. Wake up. Chu Yun looks more like a wizard than you no matter what. Lu Xiaolin looked at the 5 big and 3 rough, but with a first-class tongue, he once again pricked his heart. He doesn't envy at all. As their classmate, Chu Yun not only looks handsome, but also has an excellent personality and a great popularity in school. He and Su Yuan have a good relationship with Chu Yun. Chu Yun successfully transferred to become a mage, and they all felt happy for him. Congratulations, classmate Chu Yun. In a few days, you can register with the Mage Association. There may also be some guilds coming to your door, but you need to shine your eyes and choose a good guild. In front of the professional god stone. Watching Chu Yun, who had just completed his job transfer and walked out, the serious female teacher also showed a hint of a smile and kindly reminded Chu Yun. Thank you, teacher. Chu Yun expressed his gratitude with a smile on his face. He was also quite satisfied in his heart. Faye is good, Faye is wonderful. For so many years in this world, he knows very well that profession is king. The upper limit of Faye is very high, and his future is bright. Walking towards the crowd, Chu Yun instinctively turned his gaze to the career panel that appeared after the job transfer was completed. Chu Yun occupation. Forbidden Mage, 1 turn, level. LV.0, physical strength. 10 magic. 88 agility. 8 endurance. 12 power. 9 combat power evaluation. 1 star. The panel is divided into 2 categories. Attribute panel and skill panel. After scanning the attribute panel, Chu Yun accidentally glanced at the skill panel and suddenly his pupils contracted rapidly. Tianyan Funeral. Active skill. Fire type. Forbidden curse, summoning flames from outside the universe, burying all enemies of sentient beings. Source of magic. Passive skill. You receive blessings from magical elements and are the darling of heaven and earth. Under the cover of the source of magic, you release spells without singing. Under the cover of the source of magic, you have unparalleled control over the elements. Under the cover of the source of magic, your spells can be released without cost every 3 hours. Under the cover of the source of magic, your magic reserves will be 100 times that of an ordinary mage. P.S. Old authors, new books, flowers, reviews, and other data are all free, with added updates. Thank you. New book update rules. You are listening at novelfull.audio. The source has no content or has errors. 002 Fire Forbidden Curse. Heavenly Flame Funeral. 2. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chu Yun looked at his attribute panel. It's very obvious. His panel is slightly different from others. Just completed the job transfer, shouldn't you be a mage apprentice? What kind of ghost is a forbidden sorcerer? Chu Yun stared at the 2 skills on the panel. Fire Forbidden Curse. Heavenly Flame Funeral. Passive skill. The source of magic. And what about this skill? Generally, after completing a job transfer, a mage's skills should not be basic spells such as Fireball, Water Bullet, and Wind Blade. The passive skills were overwhelming, which means elemental affinity. The source of magic and the long series of skill introductions made him feel dizzy. This is really amazing. Chu Yun knows it's at Blue Star. Magic is divided into levels 1 to 9, from weak to strong. And the magic above the 9th level is the Forbidden Curse. He just finished his job transfer and learned the Forbidden Curse. Can it still be released directly? After a moment of confusion, Chu Yun finally regained his senses. Lying trough. Born together in this world for 18 years, did the golden finger wait for me here? Chu Yun, congratulations. From now on, you will become a noble Faye. Don't forget to take your brothers with you. Chu Yun Gigi, I'm a pastor. When will we schedule a time to team up and practice in the shallow bay? Brother Chu Yun, I'm a warrior. Let's team up together, match the tactics, and work hard without getting tired. As I was pondering, I had already stepped into the crowd. A group of young girls and boys who met Chu Yun leaned forward, congratulating Chu Yun on his transfer to become a mage, and the girls sent out team invitations. Thank you, thank you. I have something else to do, I'll leave first. Chu Yun's smile did not diminish, but his feet were windy. He cleverly avoided the enthusiastic crowd and hurriedly walked towards the school gate. He is now somewhat eager to verify the skills he has just mastered. Follow the skill introduction on the panel. The fire-based forbidden spell he possesses consumes a huge amount. Obviously, it's not something he can release just after his job transfer. Fortunately, there is a god like the source of magic that exists passively, which makes Chu Yun inexplicably eager to try. However, he doesn't want to be on the hot search, as the fire ban curse is clearly not a suitable venue for release in school. Where is Chu Yun going? Where else can I go? I must have gone to Shallow Bay to test my skills. I just successfully transferred to another job and definitely want to try my skills. It makes sense, I'll go too. Shallow Bays. It is the most suitable leveling area for beginners in Linhai City, where the monsters are gentle and pure experience babies. Many rookies who have just completed job transfers will go to Shallow Bay to master their skills and level up in monster battles. Watching Chu Yun hurriedly leave, the young girls who had just completed their job transfer quickly followed behind. The green grass leaves swayed and sometimes rustled, as if wild beasts were shuttling through. A handsome young man dressed in casual clothes with a lazy smile walked off a train. Before taking a few steps, a huge wooden sign appeared in front of me. Mengzhu Forest, Beginner Training Area, Recommended Levels 5.10. Chu Yun did not go to the Shallow Bay, but chose a training area in another direction. looking at the winding path in front of me leading deep into the dense trees. Chu Yun's mind flashed with the geography knowledge taught in school. Because there are wild boar monsters in the wild boar forest that may actively attack. Compared to the crowded shallow bay, there are much fewer people in this leveling area. This is also the reason why Chu Yun chose Mengzhu Forest. Let's go deeper first. Chu Yun scanned the surroundings with his eyes, walked into the path, and entered the fierce pig forest. It's not reckless for him to cross levels and come here in LV0. It is almost impossible for one's own panel to be fake. His parents are also high-level professionals. Although they fell early in a certain secret realm, they left him a considerable amount of assets. Before coming, they had already prepared protective props. After walking for a while, the two sides gradually opened up. Occasionally, one can see huge tree crowns that are clearly different from ordinary trees. The branches on the crown are like claws and whips, swaying like a gust of wind. LV.5 Ordinary Tree Monster. Chu Yun glanced and walked briskly forward. In addition to wild boars, there are also tree monsters in the Mengzhu forest. Tree monsters are neutral creatures that will not be harmed as long as they are not approached. Elves in the flames, release your anger and eliminate my enemies. Not far away, Chu Yun saw a mature-looking man wearing a burlap robe, waving and singing with a brown wooden stick. Suddenly, a large fireball with a diameter of half a meter was thrown out and hit a huge tree monster not far away, waving its teeth and claws. The scorching breath immediately floated in the air. The giant tree monster instantly turned into half-burnt wood, and a milky white halo enveloped the burlap man. The burlap man glanced at Chu Yun, lifted his chin slightly, and looked proud. He ignored Chu Yun and continued to search for the next target to level up. He's also a wizard. Chu Yun glanced at it. Obviously, this burlap man's profession is a mage, and the fireball spells he sings are both big and powerful. I don't know how my fireball skills will be. Chu Yun had some expectations and continued walking towards the depths of the fierce pig forest. Along the way, Chu Yun also saw some wild boars. However, those wild boars have not yet posed any danger to him, and other professionals who are leveling up in the wild pig forest have rushed to solve it. Most of these professionals are warriors and priests, mages like burlap men, and have never encountered a second one. Almost done. Chu Yun took out his phone and glanced at the time. It has been an hour since he entered the fierce pig forest, and he has rarely seen anyone along the way. According to his estimation, this should be a good place to test skills. Humph. Two wild boars with green faces and fangs on the left and right coincidentally discovered Chu Yun. LV.8 Green-faced wild boar, LV.9 Green-toothed wild boar. Two wild boars turned red when they saw Chu Yun, their sturdy hind hooves kicked the ground, leaving obvious marks and rushing towards Chu Yun. Chu Yun smiled lightly. Fire Forbidden Curse. Heavenly Flame Funeral. He lifted his arm, under the passive influence of the source of magic. Without any chanting, the skills on the panel are almost instinctively released. Boom. A huge sound, like a meteorite falling, suddenly exploded outside of Linhai City. Heavenly blood red, reflecting the red sky for 100 miles in an instant. The blazing breath will completely devour the fierce pig forest. P.S. Old authors, new books, flowers, reviews, and other data are all free, with added updates. Thank you. Adhere to originality and eliminate non-compliant commitment letters. You are listening at novelfull.audio. The source has no content or has errors. 003 Forbidden Curse for Killing Pigs. The whole city is in terror. 3. You are listening at novelfull.audio. The sky is like fire, with red clouds covering the sky. Lei Ming, job transfer completed, profession. Thunder Messenger. The job transfer is still ongoing. Wow. Sleeping slot, what profession is Thunder Messenger? Why haven't you heard of it? Is it a hidden profession? It's just a quick turn to reveal a hidden profession. I know that Thunder Messenger is not a hidden profession, but a mage apprentice title specialized in thunder elements. It can be considered a special profession. This profession is naturally friendly to thunder elements, and there is a high probability that it will be able to switch to the position of Destroyer Mage in the future. Shoo, so awesome. Lei Ming is taking off. Our Grand Guild in Linhai City will all come at the sound of the wind. Maybe it will also disturb some big guild leaders in Linhai City. I was envious and envious. Today, including Chu Yun and Su Tingting, I have already transferred 3 masters. Lei Ming is still a powerful mage. I am sour. I am really sour. Everyone at the scene stared at Lei Ming with envy. This Lei Ming is a genius, his future is limitless. Even some teachers were filled with emotion. Special professions have a high probability of having 2 or 3 conversions. But just switching jobs, being able to switch to a special profession is really rare in this small town of Linhai. What's going on? Look at the sky. Why is the sky turning red? However, the sensation caused by Lei Ming did not last long. Some people unintentionally looked up and saw the changes in the sky, causing their scalp to tingle. The red color of the sky is like blood, spreading at a speed visible to the naked eye. In the blink of an eye, the faces of everyone looking up were dyed red. Damn it, what situation? I feel like the sky is melting. Hot. It's so hot. I want to take off my clothes. What happened? I'm going to be roasted. Not only is the sky changing color, but the air also becomes sticky. The entire sea, in an instant, seems to have turned into a mountain of flames. Not good. Fire magic. Quickly, come with me and enter the shelter. Compared to the panicked rookies, the teachers in the school clearly have a broader perspective and make judgments in an instant. A big shot has been made near the sea. This kind of magical strength. It's unbelievable, it's not something they can understand at all. Teachers trembled with their legs as they led panicked students into the shelter set up by the formation. At the same time, over the city of Linhai, halos flickered one after another, rising into the clouds from below. They are all the most powerful professionals in Linhai City. At least a 7th level or higher fire magic. It was that big shot. A bald man was sweating profusely and looked at the sky with a panicked expression. In the southeast direction. The old man with white hair and a purple robe stared in the direction of the fierce pig forest with wide eyes. But his gaze did not stop for a moment in the fierce pig forest, looking further away. Lord Wang, I have already opened the Linhai barrier. But. A horse-faced man looked flustered beside the old man in purple robe, and his voice was extremely panicked and anxious. What's going on? Is the barrier about to break? The lord of the royal city felt a jolt in his heart as he saw the man with a horse face panicking. At the moment they sensed the appearance of this terrifying fire magic, the barrier facing the sea instantly opened, sheltering the entire city. As the city defense commander of Linhai City, the man with a horse face should be guarding the barrier now. It's already broken. This magic is too powerful. The barrier was burned through as soon as it opened. The man with a horse face is eager to cry without tears. The newcomers are too fierce. At this point, even if you want to seek support, it's too late. According to his estimation, there will be at most 5 minutes left before the entire coastal area is burned dry by this fire. Calm down. It shouldn't be targeting Linhai City. With the strength of this big shot, we can't resist targeting Linhai at all. It's possible that it just happened to be affected. Watching the flames burning through the sky boil. The lord of the royal city took a deep breath, forcing himself to calm down and analyze carefully. His analysis made the other two also reflect. The aftershocks can burn through the barrier of Linhai in minutes. If we really want to target Linhai is now gone. Where? Should we go and take a look? The bald man wiped his head with sweat, looked into the distance, and instinctively asked. Take a look. Can't I die if I want to? You two stay here, I'll report it. The lord of the royal city cursed angrily, watching the figure of the city lord disappear. The other two looked at each other, looking at the distant Huiyan, their legs trembling. I hope this big shot can leave soon. We can't stand such a fuss near the sea. Their faces turned pale, and they silently prayed in their hearts. Mengzhu Forest. Chu Yun was covered in a large amount of milky white halo. One brilliant brilliance after another kept emerging. Every time the splendor rises, it means that Chu Yun has successfully upgraded. Besides that, a dazzling light burst out in front of him. This fire-based forbidden curse is also too powerful. Fortunately, there is a source of magic. I can perfectly control this forbidden curse, otherwise blood will flow into a river. The two wild boars that had just attacked him in front of him have turned into experience. Chu Yun's mood is somewhat complicated. Worried that the forbidden spell would be too strong, he even specifically found a remote place to test his skills. As a result, Chu Yun found that his imagination about the power of the forbidden curse was still too superficial. This day's funeral was like a nuclear bomb. Not to mention Mengzhulan, even Linhai City needs to send it. Fortunately, the passive nature of the source of magic allowed him to achieve perfect control over this heavenly flame funeral. Just now, he was like turning on radar. All the areas shrouded in the Tianyan funeral appeared in his eyes with delicate details. With such a terrifying range of forbidden spells, he was able to rely on his thoughts to avoid all humans, including those in the wild pig forest. It's too outrageous. If someone knew I was using a forbidden spell to kill a wild boar, I don't know what expression it would be. Even if the forbidden spell has ended. Chu Yun still couldn't help but sigh. Speaking of which, after killing so many monsters, what level am I at now? After sighing, Chu Yun turned his gaze to his attribute panel. Just as I opened it, I was greeted by a row of prompts flashing across the screen. Congratulations on killing the Green Fang Wild Boar and gaining 25 points of experience. Congratulations on killing the Green-Faced Wild Boar and gaining 20 points of experience. Congratulations on killing the Tree Monster and gaining 10 points of experience. Congratulations on killing the Mutant Pig King and gaining 200 points of experience. Congratulations on killing the Tree Monster and gaining 1 experience. Congratulations on killing the Wild Boar King and gaining 1 experience. Congratulations on killing the mutant tree monster and gaining 1 experience. PS, old authors, new books, flowers, reviews, and other data are all free, with added updates. Thank you. 001 Global Job Transfer. Forbidden Mage. 1. Find data. You are listening at novelfull.audio. The source has no content or has errors. 004 just changed jobs and is about to prepare for a second job transfer. You are listening at novelfull.audio. You have upgraded and obtained 10 attribute points. You have upgraded and obtained 10 attribute points. Your level has reached level 30, please collect the second transfer task in a timely manner. The news of gaining a large amount of experience is like a waterfall brushing across the screen. For each level up, in addition to natural growth attributes, you will also receive 10 free attribute points. Look at the property panel. Chu Yun Occupation. Forbidden Mage, 1 turn, level. LV.30, Physical Strength. 40 Magic. 200 Agility. 38 Endurance. 42 Strength. 39 Available Attribute Points. 300 Combat Power Evaluation. 2 stars, I'll go. Is that level 30? Chu Yun's mouth twitched. Did you clean up all the monsters in the wild boar forest? Although Chu Yun had just witnessed the terrifying scene of the forbidden curse washing the ground, he was prepared in his heart. Seeing this scene, he still felt a bit uneasy. Those newly transferred colleagues are still experiencing chopping monsters and brushing one by one in shallow sea bay. It usually takes several months to upgrade to level 30. What about him? The whole picture shows a wave of current. Take off directly. He is only a few hours away from his successful job transfer. Now you tell me. A forbidden spell, level 30. This is still because at the end, the level is much higher than that of the monsters in the wild pig forest, and killing any monster can only gain a little experience. Chu Yun squinted his eyes and analyzed. Except for being too high in level. At level 30, there is no way to continue upgrading until the second level is completed. That means I have to start preparing for the second round. Chu Yun rubbed his eyebrows, feeling a bit annoyed. The upgrade speed is so fast, he's not ready yet. Take these fallen treasures away first before we speak. After digesting, Chu Yun set his gaze on a beam of light in front of him. Since the game was brought into reality, all the monsters on Blue Star have a chance to release various equipment and treasures after death, just like in the game. Just according to Chu Yun's understanding. The explosion rate is a bit touching. It is normal to kill hundreds of monsters and not be able to unleash a single piece of equipment. Of course, for Chu Yun, who just used the forbidden spell to wash the ground, there were more than hundreds of monsters wiped out. According to the Blue Star rule, treasures dropped from killing monsters in the wild will automatically gather in front of the killer, which saves me some effort. Chu Yun looked at the shimmering light floating in front of him, at least nearly 100 times. It can be imagined how many monsters in the fierce pig forest he just banned and killed. After changing jobs, every professional will have their own personal space. It's not big either, about 10 cubic meters. He walked with a gust of wind and quickly picked up each cluster of light. Fong necklace, silver, category. Jewelry, level requirement. Level 10, effect. Magic plus 5 durability. 30/30ths, side effect. Regeneration, passive. After wearing it, it will restore 100 points of life every 10 minutes. Tree Guardian, bronze, category. Ring, level requirement. Level 8, effect. Stamina plus 3, endurance plus 5. Durability. 30/30, additional effect. None, Tree Demon Staff, bronze, category. Weapons, level requirement. Level 10, effect. Magic plus 20, Constitution plus 20, durability. 50/50ths, side effect. Low-level curse, active. Release hit target, which will make the target lucky by 0.1 and give them a chance to enter a weak state. After picking up, these equipment blooms with their own blue and silver light. Based on the knowledge learned in school, Chu Yun is well aware that equipment levels are divided into 7 levels. Bronze, silver, gold, starry, radiant moon, great sun, and legend. A bit awkward. Mengshulin is a beginner-level training area. The equipment exposed is mostly bronze equipment around LV.10, occasionally mixed with some silver equipment. These equipment are undoubtedly a treasure for newly transferred professionals. However, for Chu Yun of LV.30 now, it is no longer as useful. At first, out of curiosity, Chu Yun picked up each one and took a look. Later on, Chu Yun was too lazy to look, so he casually found a few suitable silver equipment and threw them all into his personal space. Continuing to count, unexpected gains were discovered. In addition to equipment, I actually dropped 3 skill books and earned a lot of money. Chu Yunsk let out a sound. Blue Star automatically comprehends 2 skills with each job transfer. The most common way to learn new skills next, apart from certain adventure tasks, is through learning skill books. Unfortunately, skill books are very rare. A regular skill book can easily sell for hundreds of thousands of blue star coins. If it were a rare skill book, it would appear in the hundreds, millions, or even billions. When Chuyun finished collecting and counting all the treasures gathered in front of him, he found that there were still 3 skill books available. Take a closer look. Pig Rush. A warrior class professional skill book, LV5 can be learned to obtain powerful collision ability and a 1-second hot blood state. Iron Wall. A warrior class professional skill book, LV5 can be learned, transformed into a copper wall and iron wall, obtaining a 3-second dominant body state. Side effect. Unable to move. Ripple of Water. A professional skill book for mages, LV5 can be learned. It is a beginner-level water magic, sung for 3 seconds, and calls for water elements to attack within a range for 5 seconds. Its effect is affected by magic and passive effects. Among the 3 books, 2 are skill books for combat professions. Chuyun put away the Pig Rush and Iron Wall, ready to sell them for money when the time comes. Unfortunately, only one is a mage's skill book. Let's learn first before we talk. Chuyun glanced at the Wave of Water, and without hesitation, he learned the newly acquired skill book, which was easy to come by. You have learned the skill. Ripple of Water. The Ripple of Water is guided by the magical deity and automatically transforms into a water system forbidden curse. The Fury of the Sea God. Chuyun. P.S. Old authors, new books, flowers, reviews, and other data are all free, with added updates. Thank you. 002 Fire Forbidden Curse. Heavenly Flame Funeral. 2. Find data. You are listening at novelfull.audio. The source has no content or has errors. 005 Water System Forbidden Curse, Fury of the Sea God. 1. Find. You are listening at novelfull.audio. He died young. Has the newly learned skill become a forbidden curse again? Chuyun's head was filled with question marks. He stared at the skill bar. In the skill bar, in addition to the already understood Heavenly Flame Funeral and the Source of Magic, there is also an additional water blue skill icon. Fury of the Sea God. Active skill. Water-based curse, the anger of the sea god will sweep across the world, and the whole world will tremble due to the anger of the sea god. There is no specific skill description, it is still a short sentence full of force. But Chuyun, who had just released the Tianyan Funeral, had no doubt about the power of the new skill. Can all my skills be curses? Chuyun stared at his skill bar, feeling lost in thought. Unfortunately, there are no other skill books in hand, otherwise Chuyun would really like to learn a new skill book to test it. Learning new skills is also a good thing. Although the forbidden curse is strong enough, it actually has significant flaws. Staring at the skill bar, Chuyun shifted his gaze to the fire forbidden curse Tianyan Funeral. At this point, the skill icon for Tianyan Funeral is gray. It means being within the casting interval, in layman's terms, it's CD. The Tianyan Funeral, as a forbidden curse, has a CD duration of up to 1 day. The mana required to release the forbidden spell also requires 1 million mana points. Fortunately, the passive spell of Source of Magic can be refreshed every 3 hours, and adding a few forbidden spells is also good. So, in order to release the forbidden spell on my own as soon as possible, I also need to stack my equipment on the magic. Chuyun glanced at the mana value on his panel, although it was already level 30, the mana value could only reach 10,000. If it weren't for the passivity of having the Source of Magic, it would be far from enough for him to release the forbidden curse on his own. In other words, he is now a 3-second real man. A wave of forbidden curses will continue, if we don't solve the opponent. If he loses the passive support of the Source of Magic, he will have to send it. Although this possibility is unlikely, Chu Yun still prefers the feeling of holding on to everything. Thinking of this, Chu Yun without hesitation added all the 300 attribute points that had not yet been allocated to his magic. The growth of magic can increase mana points and spell damage. Spell damage is obviously not important for Chu Yun, who has mastered the forbidden spell. The important thing is the mana value. After adding some points, fully equip all the magical equipment in the harvest. Chu Yun felt a refreshing sensation as his mana increased to over 30,000 points. I feel comfortable now. First, go back to the city and take on the second transfer task. Although there is still a long way to go before he releases the forbidden spell alone, at least it gives Chu Yun a head start and gives him a strong desire to upgrade. Walk back from Mengzhu Forest. Along the way, everything was desolate. The forest, which had just turned green, is now bare and without any monsters appearing. Tisk, in the next period of time, even Mengzhulan may not be able to level up. Chu Yun couldn't help but sigh as he looked at the desolation all the way. Not only are there no monsters, but even those people who were just leveling up in the wild pig forest have run away. This is not surprising either. Facing the forbidden curse, if it weren't for Chu Yun controlling the forbidden curse, these people would have been on the road to the underworld now. As soon as the ban ended and the survivors of the disaster fled, it was nothing but normal. It seems that the smoke brought by the forbidden curse has not completely dissipated. The setting sun is like blood, unconsciously setting in the west. Second job transfer, also known as advanced job transfer. You need to go to the transfer temple to collect tasks. After returning to the city center, he rushed straight towards the temple. The temple is very prominent, like an ancient Taoist temple, standing abruptly on the busiest street in Linhai City. Arriving at the entrance of the temple, some old copper doors were tightly closed. I'll go. I'm off work now. Chu Yun felt a little uneasy as he looked at the tightly closed gate of the transfer temple. Linhai City is a small coastal city in Donghai Province, with a population of only 1 million. There is only one transfer temple in the entire city center. Every job transfer is a major event in life for professionals. Once the job transfer is successful, all 5-dimensional attributes will be greatly enhanced, and skill grids will also increase. Moreover, one can also comprehend 2 new skills, and even have the opportunity to comprehend rare talents, advance to become a special profession, or even a hidden profession. So before receiving a job transfer task, professionals will be very cautious and well prepared to ensure that they can complete the job transfer task before coming to the job transfer temple. This directly led to a shortage of transfer temples in this small town, with 9 to 5 working days becoming a daily routine. A strange person like Chu Yun who changes jobs on the same day and advances on the same day has probably never heard of him in a small city like Linhai. It seems that we'll have to come back tomorrow morning. Chu Yun spread his hand. After looking around for a moment, without choosing to go home, I turned my head and walked towards a trading house called Jingxi on the street on the other side of the transfer temple. 10 minutes later. Chu Yun walked out satisfied. He sold the equipment and 2 skill books obtained by Mengzhu Forest to the trading house. Didi. 3 million blue star coins have been credited to your card ending in 7588. Chu Yun smiled and glanced at the balance in his phone. He entered the consignment trade and then came out, but there was no such thing as being targeted. 100 years have passed since the global era of job transfers began. Countless powerful forces have risen from the sky. Even in a small town like Linhai, those who can afford to open a trading house are backed by the top giants of the Dragon Kingdom. After entering the trading bank, all transactions are protected by the trading bank. Because in the past 2 days, there have been new professionals completing job transfers everywhere in Linhai, which is a peak season for job transfers. In this transaction at the Jingxi trading house, not only did they not suffer losses, but they also sold 2 skill books at higher prices than usual. 3 million blue star coins may be considered a huge sum of money for many newly transferred professionals, but for the Jingxi Trading Company that spans across the country, it is a small business that cannot be underestimated. Unfortunately, the existing mage skill books in Linhai City have been swept clean by people. It's normal, these days are the peak season for job transfers, and those big dog owners are hoarding books. It seems that if you want to buy skill books, you'll have to wait for 2 more days. Chu Yun felt a bit regretful. After selling the harvest from the Mengzhu forest, he wanted to purchase a few more mage-style skill books to verify his guess. I didn't expect the trading house to tell him that the mage skill library in Linhai City is now completely empty. Chu Yun can only wait a few more days. Go home. Chu Yun slept comfortably. The next day, as the sun rose, Chu Yun lazily woke up and went out, rushing towards the temple where he had transferred his position. Chu Yun. Just as he walked to the entrance of the transfer temple, Chu Yun heard a familiar voice calling out to him. 003 Forbidden Curse for Killing Pigs. The whole city is in terror. 3. Find data. You are listening at novelfull.audio. The source has no content or has errors.